what exactly triggered this current conflict that we are talking about?
Right. So I was informed by the regional police command that on Sunday evening, they were informed that some shootings or some misunderstanding was ongoing at the Gulumpe community. And so they had to get there. When they got there, what triggered the misunderstanding was that they were loading charcoal in the community. So they mostly load these big trucks, come there to load charcoal. And so there are guys who load this charcoal. And in order to load, so there was one section that wanted to load, and other sections said, oh, they are the ones who normally load, so allow us to load. So that was basically what started the misunderstanding. And in the heat of the moment, the one guy was choked with a seizure. And the person got unconscious. They had to rush him to the hospital on Sunday night. And he was taken care of. As it stands now, he's a bit okay. But then, in a form to retaliate from the other group, yesterday the police went there to try and calm them down. But this dawn, the other faction trooped in to retaliate, and they shot gunfire and wounded 3 people. In addition to the first person who was shot with a seizure. So a total number of 4 people are currently injured, severely injured, and have been taken to the hospital, who are being taken care of. As I speak to you, there's a fraction of police, security personnel, both army, police, and the BNI who are there to make sure that calm restores in the community.
Right. So if I understand what you're saying, 3 persons sustained gunshot wounds, and a 4th person was stabbed with a scissors. That's it.
A scissors.
Right. All right. And so what is their current situation? I'm sure they are receiving treatment. Is that it, or do we know what exactly their condition is now?
Yes, we just went to the hospital where those who sustained gun wounds were taking treatment at the Kintampo Hospital. They are currently undergoing treatment, and I can tell you that they're not unconscious. They are okay. They are responding to treatment as it stands now. And we also had the Bupera come in and say a word to the people to make them understand the importance of peace and peaceful coexistence. So as it stands now, they've also given their word that they are not going to kill each other, or they are not going to use firearms or retaliate in an irresponsible manner. They have given their word. And also, we also had the Ministry of Interior imposing curfew on them until further notice. So as it stands now, they're just hoping that they are going to maintain the calm so that the curfew will be raised on them.
Will be lifted hopefully soon. All right, and talk to us about those who fled the town. We are told that following the confrontation, some people ran away to seek refuge elsewhere. Yes. What do we know about that?
Yes, so even this morning when I got to the town, people were still moving out of the town. Especially most of the people who moved out are women and children. So most of these people cannot retaliate or fight back when something happens. So then they decide to move to neighboring countries, neighboring communities. Some have moved to Kintampo, some have moved to Tichiman, and others have moved to the Tamale area to seek shelter until calm is restored totally before they can come back. But the men are still there. Okay. If you go to Gulumpe as it stands now, the town is almost a ghost town. All shops are shut down. The market is empty. Nothing economic is going on there. Because most of the people who engage in these economic activities have decided to move out.
Right.
It's just the men who are fighting themselves.
We actually can see these descriptions you are giving us on our Facebook page. So for those of you who are listening to us, if you log on to Facebook and you look for 3FM 92.7, you can actually see the videos and pictures from the community, the current situation in terms of the arrival of security personnel there, how empty a number of the sheds and homes and stalls are looking, the empty streets, and the fact that there is quite heavy security presence in the area. So it's interesting the description you are giving us, Belinda. Now, in conclusion, how this is not this is not a recurring fight, is it? This is more like in the last decade or so. This is the first time some of us are hearing about this kind of confrontation between two youth groups. But generally, is this something that has existed in time past, or it's actually quite new even to the residents in this area?
Oh, no. Okay. So in this very area in Gulumpe, this is the first time something like this is happening. And so it's quite a worry to traditional leaders and also the security persons who moved to make sure that they restore peace, because Gulumpe area is not known for that. And the people who reside there have resided there for a very long time, and they've been able to live together. Even though it's not the same tribe, they've been able to live together. And so it's quite a worry that recently something that is not supposed to erupt into a serious issue is bringing these issues out. And so they are actually worrying that maybe there are underlying issues other than what led to the current situation we are viewing now. And so the Bupera gave his word that he is going to step in to make sure that whatever it is, whether there's an underlying issue or whatever it is that is erupting this conflict, would be solved and peace can be restored as it used to be.
Right, Belinda, thank you so much for speaking to us this evening. Belinda Tete is our Bono East regional correspondent, updating us on the unfortunate situation which has led to the shooting of 3 individuals and the stabbing of 1 other. Fortunately, no casualties have been recorded, but the situation has led to the entirety of the township in Gulumpe, almost a ghost town. And we have seen, like I indicated, if you're watching us on Facebook, you would also see the videos of how empty the town is looking at the moment, and the fact that there is quite heavy security presence there. And it is on the back of the confrontation or the clashes that the Interior Minister imposed curfew on the area, a 4 p.m. to 6 a.m. curfew. That is quite intense. It means that between now, as we are speaking, people should be in their homes. Nobody should be seen on the streets or on motorbikes. Nobody should be seen wearing war regalia, as the statement from the Interior Ministry has declared. It means that the security officers will be in the township for some time until normalcy returns. So Belinda has just given us those updates. Let's speak to security consultant. And before we do that, let's listen to the regional police commander, who has also been speaking on this particular development and how they intend to ensure that it does not escalate.
That was last Sunday night that we had an information that there were some guys who were supposed to look sharp, and a misunderstanding ensued between them, and then the Gonja man stabbed the Konkoma man with scissors. So he was taken to hospital, and the victims' people also went to mobilize themselves and come and attack the other side. So that was what happened.
Yesterday, Monday, we were here with them to engage them, both factions. We did so, and they responded positively,
thinking that, they are okay and they've understood themselves and nothing will happen again. Just this dawn, we just had information again that, they've sparked. Somebody was going to the bush and he was attacked by a faction of the group. So that is why we are here. You see us engaging them, talking to them and advising them.
And you heard the voice of the regional commander, Bono East regional commander, calling for calm, indicating that they are already started moves to engage the factions, the leadership of the two youth groups who started firing at each other following the disagreement over who can load trucks of charcoal from the area. Let's speak to security consultant Richard Kumado, who has joined us on the phone lines now. Mr. Kumado, good evening. Thank you for joining us on 3FM.
You're welcome, Martin.
This is, for some of us in the Bono East region, in and around the Kintampo area, this is the first time we are hearing of some of these kinds of disturbances. But I think the more troubling aspect of it is how quickly some of these youth groups have guns on them, the availability of weapons, where immediately something comes up, people just pull out their weapons and start shooting. But generally, what are your thoughts on it and the quick response of an imposition of curfew on them?
I was a bit surprised. The reason for the fight is a bit trivial, and the action of our brothers using guns for attack and for defensive purposes is also a bit worrying. They have the tendency of using guns because all over the country, people have used guns and they have not been apprehended and they have not been prosecuted. So it's rationalizing bad behavior and promoting antisocial tendencies in society. And that is why they will have the impetus to use a gun, knowing very well that nothing will happen to them. The third point is that I'm happy there's curfew, and I'm happy that law enforcement officers will now be there, not trusting them that they will behave themselves. If we don't get to the bottom of it and hold people accountable, then we are adding up to many of the cases that has happened. People use guns and they get away with it because it's a criminal offense. A crime would need to be punished.
What kind, we know that usually when these things happen, when people in a community fight each other, we quickly look at the police. But I think the role of traditional leaders and opinion leaders in some of these communities cannot be overemphasized. How can we deal with some of these issues before they escalate?
Definitely, not just the traditional rulers, but community leaders, for which the leaders of this group, if it's a recognized group, the leaders will have to be held accountable, and they will have to play a key role in making sure that they live peacefully among themselves and within the jurisdiction where they find themselves. What has happened now have added their area onto the red alert locations across Ghana, and any other things that might go there freely, people will think twice again, and people will say, are we safe investing in this area, or are we safe doing ABC in this area, which is also a major problem, which is going to affect them economically. So not just the traditional leaders, but the group leaders and all other persons that will help to bring peace to the area is important. But above all, if you don't punish people who flout the law using weapons and very sophisticated nature of it, you are creating the premises for others to do same. And the devastation nature of some of these shootings is becoming a major burdensome on our national security architecture.
My last two questions before you take leave of us, Mr. Kumado, and then so we'll look at the concern about the proliferation or how easily available these weapons are in and around such communities. Is it that we are missing something? How do these arms get even as far as you would have thought that if anything at all, it will be in the big cities? But as far as, the Bono East region in areas in and around those places, people have these kinds of guns. They are not locally manufactured from what we are hearing. So what are we missing for which reason some of these guns are easily able to get into people's hands?
What we are not doing right, what we are missing. Okay, what we are missing is that it becomes easier for people to access guns. Accessibility to weapons in our country is very high, and there are no strict measures to it. So even though the small arms are putting in measures to ensure that people stop using guns to attack themselves, it is so easy for people to lay hands on arms. And if you remember what is happening in America and some other places where gun violence has become a predominant feature, that is what we are heading towards to. That the least instant, then somebody has a gun and somebody pull it out. As to whether these guns are even registered or not is for another day. But Matty, it's too easy for people to access the purchasing of guns and to own guns in this country. And it is something we are missing. It is something we need to look at it again.
Right. And finally, what kind of outcome are you looking forward to seeing? You have raised concern about this might also be part of the tall list of unsolved gun violence in the country. But for this particular one, a curfew has been imposed. The regional minister, the regional police commander says investigations are ongoing. What kind of outcome are you looking forward to where you'd say that this is more concrete, this is a decisive action that has been taken?
In no particular order, resolve the underlying factors which triggered this particular confrontation, because the reason they are giving is a little bit trivial. Then number two, apprehend the perpetrators and prosecute them, and you'll be fine. If you don't do it, others will retaliate. It could be a day, it could be 2, it could be 3, it could be 4 weeks or 1 month. They have scars and they have pains and they have seen blood. They will retaliate. So apprehend the criminals and get them prosecuted. And make sure you do silent diplomacy to resolve issue about who loads charcoal, who doesn't load charcoal. And you'll be fine.
Mr. Kumado, thank you so much for your time as always. Richard Kumado is a fraud and security consultant, and helping us at least look at the security angle of today's concern coming in from Gulumpe in the Bono East region, where a curfew has been imposed from 4 p.m. to 6 a.m. And there is heavy police and military presence, I should say. And this follows the shooting of 3 people have actually been shot and 1 stabbed with scissors. And this is because the trucks that come there to pick charcoal, boys that load these trucks had a disagreement over who should load the truck of the truck with the charcoal, and on the back of it, it became quite heated, and then people pulled out guns and started shooting at each other. 4 people have been injured, 3 of them in hospital. We are told 1 with a scissors wound. So we are seeing or keeping very close tabs on how all of this is playing out, because a curfew has been imposed and there's still enough police presence there. Our reporter tells us that relative calm has been restored. However, some people have fled the town and others are also seeking shelter elsewhere, hoping that sanity returns and relative calm also returns to the area. So we'll see how all of this plays out in the coming days. This is still Hot Edition on 3FM 92.7. We're going on to some other stories now, straight to the House of Parliament, because